Elliot, we
Hello.
have a lot of Counter-Strike related news this week in one very specific lane. So we're gonna
Yes.
for this week we're gonna forego our normal banter at the beginning, and I'll get to our one non-piece of Cologne news,
Right.
which is that Henny has joined Red Canids, also known as the
That's
most.
not what I thought you. I'd say there is one other piece of non-Cologne news, and that was definitely not the news I was going to go with.
I thought it was very important to talk about the former major finalist from the.
Oh, we
Immortals
love Henny. We'd love Henny
Right,
on
I
this
felt
podcast.
truly a overtime on Inferno player if we had to pick players.
Yeah.
I felt it was important for us to know.
He would at least be my third choice AWPer, at least. Yeah.
At least, to be
At
fair, I
least
think
their
our team
choice.
would have a lot of offers on it.
And then mine would have no AWPers on it, actually. Mine's all
I think it's
entry
a
frags and
group
nothing else.
What was your one thing you wanted to speak on then?
Oh well, now it seems a little heavy-handed to go into it because it was about the FlyQuest Red not being allowed to play at the major.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that then.
And I think let's roll the intro and then let's talk about it.
This is where the intro goes. We're good at that.
I
Okay,
always
so
remember the intro.
it's weird because it took a while for me to start forgetting it.
And it took a while for me to even acknowledge that you were saying it. So
Okay, so FlyQuest Red and FlyQuest Green.
I think
Call
they're
them
just
FlyQuest Green.
FlyQuest. But
FlyQuest Australia.
FlyQuest upside down.
They both qualified for the major qualifiers. They both
Closed
qualified
qualifiers.
for closed qualifiers.
I think it was that the FlyQuest Red weren't allowed to even enter.
Well, because
I don't
I know
know.
that there's actually multiple teams that this is an issue. Because I believe it's also an issue for TSM Shimmer
Yeah.
and the standard TSM roster in Europe.
Well, honestly, just send the Shimmer roster. Honestly,
Probably better. Okay, so let's go from the beginning here. So from a tweet from Striker yesterday as we're recording, the August 6th ranking update, which was the one yesterday, is the one that will be used for RMR/Close Qualifier invites. Multiple teams under the same organization are not allowed to compete even across multiple stages and regions. Now,
yeah.
that second bullet's the important bullet here, because we were talking the general idea here is that there are two orgs that are prevalent in this: TSM and FlyQuest. Both orgs have a women's roster and a other roster.
Yeah.
The FlyQuest one is obviously the Australian roster and the North American roster. TSM has a European roster and a North American roster.
I think a Danish roster, no?
Yeah, okay, a Danish roster and North American roster. And the problem is that both TSM Shimmer and FlyQuest Red qualified for the closed qualifiers in North America, and TSM other roster and FlyQuest Green, as I am now deeming them, qualified in their respective regions.
Yeah.
And so what they have been told is that the Red/Shimmer rosters will not be able to compete in the closed qualifiers.
Which,
I
like,
think is a shame.
but it's, like, obviously. I don't understand why there was any kind of argument. Like, yeah, no, of course you can't have two teams trying to qualify for the major. That's insane.
I agree. I have some stipulations on it. I agree that two teams should not be allowed to qualify for the major in such a way.
Yeah.
But I ask this very seriously. What's the probability that FlyQuest Red and FlyQuest Green both actually qualify?
Of course the probability is low, but if it happens, then you then, like, do you know what I mean? If it does happen, then you've got a problem on your hands that can all be avoided by just having this rule. Because yes, in this situation,
in this one specific situation.
But if you allowed this, and then Falcons go, well, we're just going to buy the best team in the Middle East, the best team in Oceania, the best team in North America, and the 18th best team in EU, which we probably currently have. We'll get onto them in a bit.
Yeah.
Then they'll try and qualify from every region because they've got the money to do so.
Yeah, but then they'll have to pick one.
Well, yeah, but they'll almost guarantee a spot at the major by doing this. It's just like, yes, it looks silly here, but it's obviously that has to be the rule to stop teams doing this.
I agree that has to be the rule, but I feel like there should be there's some sort of, I don't know. It sucks if you're on FlyQuest Red here, because what do you want them to like? There's nothing you can ask them to do. Like, it sucks in every way. And you know for a fact that the org, even though the red team is older than the current team, the org is not going to say, hey, we're going to tell the Australian roster not to try and qualify for the major.
Yeah.
And let's be clear, the Australian roster has a much higher chance of actually getting to the major, which is a monetary thing for both both the organization and the team, than the FlyQuest Red roster.
I would go as far to say, if the quote-unquote main team, if the FlyQuest, the Australian
green team
makes it to the major, that probably pays the salaries of the red team for a year. So
it's one of those things that you look at, and I get it. I understand why people are upset. I
don't really understand why anyone's upset. It's like, it sucks for them, but like, of course they can't do this. Like, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there should be maybe some sort of rule between if you're have like your main team versus a marginalized team, like if you have a women's team.
Yeah, but I don't think that makes sense, because
the thing that you
it's
said
an open tournament. Anyone can play. The whole point of the major, obviously they've changed now because they've got fucking closed qualifiers, whatever, instead of open qualifiers. But the whole point to me was that anyone could enter, and there's no. You and your mates could enter, no matter what you look like.
Well,
you could have a team of dwarves with no hands. If you qualify for the major, you get to play. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. So I think it's silly to make rules based on who you are, in my eyes.
I wonder if FlyQuest was given the allowance to. I wonder if FlyQuest was given the allowance to sell the team or like. Disassociate from the team, because I know that with Apex, like the Moist team had to come to North America, and if they were under the Moist roster, they couldn't get in. But the second that Moist let them go, they were able to get into the country and compete. I wonder if he
immediately re-signed them.
Yeah, I wonder if FlyQuest could just say, "Hey, you guys are not going to be the FlyQuest roster," and that there is some amount of like, obviously there's still conflict of interest if FlyQuest is going to sign them right back after, but. If during the tournament you're not, there's something to be said for them. I wonder
if they do qualify, they get to keep all the money, like Bad News Eagles.
I wonder if that was an opportunity that FlyQuest/TSM was given.
I think FlyQuest, the organization, probably wouldn't want that to happen.
I think TSM more so would not want that to happen. I think FlyQuest would be more open to the idea. I don't know either roster. Either org would actually do it, though.
We don't know. We don't even know if it's an option. We just sort of speculate.
We're pontificating.
Good word.
All right, thank you. It's one of my favorite words. All right.
That's a good one.
Let's chat about Cologne. We'll talk about play-in, and then we'll go and talk about the main event, because the main event starts on Saturday. Today, as we were recording, it is the 7th. The Pain Liquid game is still going on. We will touch on that all the way at the end.
Don't tell them that. No. Pain Liquid game's already finished.
All right, let's start with the earliest matches from today. That would be MongolZ and FlyQuest Big. You want to tell us about these? Because as these matches started at 4:45 in the morning, was asleep. But I have a feeling that you were also asleep.
I was awake.
Oh.
I went to see some family, and none of my family members are like big Clan fans. So thankfully, I was able to avoid watching Big play. Now, I didn't catch much of this live. I obviously saw some of the highlights, but it feels like the hype for Mongols has died down quite a bit, which is a real shame because they were such a fun team to follow, and they're kind of hitting a wall now. It feels like before the player break, it feels like they would have just beaten Saw 2-0.
Yeah. it feels like one of those matches that should have gone differently. It feels like we started the day with an upset there. It actually feels like we kind of started the day with 2 upsets. Cause
No, bigger or better team than FlyQuest.
have you watched FlyQuest recently, though?
It doesn't matter. Inns is good, but neither. I don't think anyone on that team is as good as Crimbo, and I'm not sure any of them are as good as Regon either. Inns is pretty close, but Regon's good, man. I like Regon.
It feels like it shouldn't. I don't know. It feels like FlyQuest should have had a real chance, and while they won on the first map, the other two maps were close. It felt like it could have gone either way. I would have favored FlyQuest ahead of time, but I wouldn't have favored them considerably.
I mean, I guess it's easy for me to say, "Oh yeah, bigger, better," knowing they've won. But
yeah,
like,
all right.
I think bigger, better.
I'm game skimming past those matches. I think the rest of the matches are a little bit more important.
Yeah, it's like what is it, like Mongols losing is a big shock, and like, but then we know Saw can be really good as well.
Yeah,
like,
we've seen
Saw be really good this year, so it's not that surprising. It's just a shame because Mongols were like the team to watch for a bit.
We've seen them be really good, and Mongols have been really good recently, but I think the last tournament Mongols were in before this, they weren't insanely good either.
No.
I think they were fine, but it wasn't the Mongols.
They lost to FURIA in the EWC.
And they never lose to FURIA.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That sort of broke the illusion.
So let's go to matches that actually have started to matter a little bit. The first match I want to touch on it. Okay, so it's a little mean, but I'm going to be mean. The first match is 3D Max 9Z. The reason I am saying that this is in the kind of meta category is not because of the match at all, but to note that Bet Boom could not make it to the event.
Yeah.
And so 3D Max is there instead of them. Other than that...
You could have then gone, speaking of not at the event, and we could have talked about the other game, but... you could have gone either way.
We're going to talk about the other game. Yeah. 9Z was very good. I don't know what more we need to say.
Yeah, they do this. Like they turn up to big events every so often, look really good, and then go completely off the radar, and people forget how good they are.
Yep.
Max and DGT, if they weren't Uruguayan, would be considered much better players than they are. It's only because they stay on 9Z for so long, out of the eye of the public, the European public, or the Western public, and people forget how good they are, but they're still just really good.
If they were Brazilian, they'd be considered so much better. Like
if they were Brazilian, they'd have played on 8 different teams by now,
and one of them would have been FURIA.
One of them would have made a major final or something. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Brazil for a minute here, because this is the important bit here. Heroic against MIBR. So you alluded to it on the speaking of people who had not shown up to the event. Degster is not here, though it seems to be that Degster has gotten his green card visa.
Yeah. It seems he might be back tomorrow.
Maybe.
According to a screenshot of a telegram I saw. So that could mean anything. Well, it could be made up. I have no idea.
Heroic tweeted, well with some eyes, and it's the soccer player holding up the green card, the green reverse card to the ref.
I see.
Yes.
I will say Heroic are known trolls.
I know, but I also feel like Degster coming back wouldn't be a thing they'd troll about.
I don't think there's anything they wouldn't. I don't think there's anything that's off limits for. No, he probably is coming back. But yeah, they lost to MIBR. They still took a map, but they didn't have Saw standing in. They had Warrior 2K, which is not a bad replacement. I actually think Warrior 2K is quite good. So
I wanted to talk about this game because we got off the Insanity train for a little while.
Insanity's good. He's just miss.
He's so all over the place. He was on today.
When he's on, he's really, really good.
He was real on there. Like, he was real fucking good today.
Yeah. I do think Insanity is a bit of a litmus test for how good you are. I feel like good teams don't get Insanity'd. Like, really good teams don't get Insanity'd.
But mediocre teams get Insanity'd.
Yeah, you can get Insanity'd. Yeah, you're always in danger of getting Insanity'd if you're, Heroic tier. It feels weird to say it. I actually have no idea how good Heroic are. A, because we don't ever see them the full roster, but B, I just have not when you watch them, you're like, are you good? Like, all the players are good individually, but there's just something missing, and I don't know what it is. Like, you look at all of these players, and they're all good. We all know they're good.
It feels like this team doesn't have personality.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Everyone, and
but
that's
not
saying
like it
that
should again.
That's not saying that none of these players don't have a personality. But every team's got a donk style shit talker to a degree.
Yeah,
maybe not to the degree of donk, but feels like every team's got the loud person. It just doesn't feel like anyone heroic is like that.
No, they got rid of Cadian. I mean, degster's quite loud. He's just not there. So.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Degster in a while, so.
Yeah,
is Degster really there on the team?
If Degster falls in the forest and nobody's around to get his visa, does he turn up to the event?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
No,
because they lost MIBR, and now they have to go play someone.
Good.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember who.
Perfect. Yeah, you've nailed it there.
Right.
I will tell you in a
3D
second.
Max.
If I'm just stalling for a second, and then I'll tell you.
They have to play 3D Max.
Going back to 3D Max, by the way, didn't they just smack everyone at an event and then turn up here and just shit the bed against MongolZ?
That sounds about right.
They smacked everyone at the Sky Esports Championship. They beat MongolZ in the final. They smashed. What? They beat Ents 2-0. They beat Aurora. They 13-0'd Revenant, which whatever. But
I mean,
they came in hot form and just
not even
got
that.
Shat on.
They played in Bepum Daha Belgrade close qualifiers. And beat everyone except for Johnny Speeds, including Fnatic, Bleed, and Cloud9.
Yeah.
Johnny Speeds is actually a pretty good team right now. And then they went to Challenger League in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've been in good form. Yeah, they've been in good form, and then they've come here and just got absolutely blitzed by nine. They got 7 rounds. The 2 maps got 7 rounds.
Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase this. They played in the Plains this morning, and since that point, they have won 3 games. No, they've won 1 game. The way that this match page is done is very interesting.
They beat Gun 5, which has Russian players you've sort of heard of.
I've never heard of any.
I've heard of Seltzer, Finnegan, but as anyone knows, beating random Russian players is harder than beating good teams anyway.
Yeah.
3D Max came in really hot form just off the back of winning an event, and then you come up against 9Z, who is just 9Z are a dangerous team. People consistently underestimate them. I mean, they're apparently the 13th in the world. That's it. I mean, that sounds about right, but it feels like people think they're worse than that. And you're thinking this is a chance for 3D Max. This is a good game to start on. They got absolutely battered. Not even a chance of winning that game. That's quite demoralising and quite. Off the back of winning an event, going into that, you're immediately oh right, you're not actually good. It was just one of those events.
And it was a weird event too in India that they won, just to begin with.
Well, yeah, but I mean, of course it was. But
all right, complexity against alternate attacks. Let me tell you ahead of time. The only player you probably know.
Can we talk about the terrible round?
The hallzerk 1v5.
Yeah, with a Galil.
No, I mean yeah. So it was on Inferno, right? He gets the 2-3 kills down Banana, turns around and gets another 2.
Over big push from Banana, op included. He knows he's got him against the wall. That MP9 gets dealt with. But hallzerk down to 6 HP. Stop. What?
6 health.
He's got the bomb. It's going to be a sprint for the A site. This is a 1v5. They tried to swarm him, and hallzerk is going to put this bomb down. Oh my lord. A little inexperience shining through. Instant attack out of freeze. You've given him in the op. A second shot. It's a straight up 1v5.
It's so irritating to watch. Because, I have several problems with it. One is that he's using a Galil. One of you should get a dink. You always have a chance to get a bullet off. 5 professional players, one of you should dink him.
Hopefully.
Yeah, one of you should.
I'd like this to be known that the only highlight for this match on HLTV is the 1v5 clutch from hallzerk.
Yeah. Oh, at least 4 of them with it. I think the last one he gets with the AWP, but he's on 6 HP. But he gets one of the Galil kills on low HP, and it's just like, you should never get a Galil kill on low HP against somebody who's facing you. 2, he's trapped in banana. You don't have to do anything. He can't go anywhere. Just wait for him to walk into you. What are you doing? 3, he gets a 1v5 and he still only goes +2 on the scoreboard in a 2-0 win while AWPing.
So, I'd like to know, I'm rewatching this right now. The first kill he gets, he's full HP. After the second kill, he's on 6 HP. Yeah. And the third player, who was hyped, jumped half wall on INFERNO to let hallzerk know exactly where he was, and hallzerk just walked around the corner as the guy's falling down. You
don't need to jump spot him. You know where he is. He can't teleport.
And there's a guy behind him, too. Like, he's literally stuck.
He can't move.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to watch. And, like, you know that wouldn't happen against any other team at this event. Not to be... Well, I mean, that is quite disparaging of all time. But my point is, like, that's a mistake that a Tier 1, Tier 2 team doesn't make. I'm going to say they don't make. I know there was another 1v5 today, so they do make these mistakes. But it's really ugly. Like, that round should never, ever happen. And I think that's the sort of round that is going to make you think alternate attacks are not going to win a map here.
But you know what? I don't know if I would have expected them to win a map against literally anyone here, so...
No, I think your best chance is probably against Complexity or a team like who are... Complexity are, keen to throw away rounds and maps sometimes.
They are a North American roster.
Yeah. It's kind of what I was saying,
yeah. Eternal Fire Falcons.
Speaking of 1v5s.
Yep. This is the first time I've actually thought Falcons looked okay, and then I watched Dust 2.
Yeah.
So the first map, Vertigo, was actually just Eternal Fire shitting all over the place. Like, in a good way. In a good way, not in a bad way.
Shitting all over the place in a good way.
Yeah. Shitting all over Falcons, I guess.
That's impressive, actually. I mean, imagine how difficult that is.
Well, Falcons move. Like, if we're talking about the bird here.
They're fast, yeah. And they're in the air, importantly.
There has to be a point where we're going to have to do a ranking. We'll do this during a player break or when we have no news for a week of the top 30 team mascots and who would best win in a fight based on that.
Mm. Like, I feel like the Mongols mascot is pretty crazy. But Eternal Fire, there's a couple of them that have dragons, which is kind of cheating.
They've done this for baseball recently, and it's like who would win, the letter A or an entire city. And they're talking about like the Oakland A's versus the New York Mets or something like that.
The Oakland A's are like one of about 4 baseball teams I know because of Moneyball. So.
They're not a very good team anymore. Everyone is upset because they're moving to Las Vegas and no one is going. They have more people going to their minor league baseball games than going to the actual Oakland A games because they're protesting it.
Nice.
Which I think is excellent. Yeah, so Eternal Fire, map 1, really good for Eternal Fire. Map 2, Falcons, Nuke. Actually okay.
Yeah, they were battering them for a while. There was that weird stat at half time where it was like 9-3 Falcons, but they were down 3 kills.
Yeah, Falcons had 9 rounds on T side too. It wasn't CT side rounds.
They had 9 rounds on T side with 34 kills, I think it was. The Eternal Fire had 3 with 37 kills. It was something like that at the half time. Wicadia, by the way, won an absolutely unbelievable 1v2 in this game. It made absolutely, it was of no consequence because it was to make it like 12-6 and they lost like 3 rounds there. Amazing 1v2. Really, really clean.
I will note that if there is a team in the world that would be a good Nuke team, it would be Falcons.
Yeah, Snappy calls a wonderful Nuke.
Well, Snappy calls
wonderful Nuke. It used to be Sunpius' best map.
Magisk and Dupree from Astralis, like they played a lot of Nuke for really long. Like
famously good at Nuke, yeah.
Yeah, the only person who isn't proven to that degree on Nuke is Madden, who I'm sure can play Nuke.
It was one of Ence's best maps.
Well, but like it doesn't have the. It was more of it doesn't have the like the history of it the same way that.
Yeah, I mean, it probably has around the same history as Sunpius does. To be honest, like they were both good. Like he was a really good topside player.
Point is, if Falcons was going to have a map, it would be Nuke. They won Nuke.
Yeah.
Dust 2.
They should be good at Nuke.
Dust 2 was a goddamn slugfest. The Eternal Fire won by the skin of their teeth.
Look.
But I need to talk about one round.
Okay, I'm not sure which round this is.
I need to talk about the woxic 1v3 round.
That was enough. Magis shuts it down. woxic, what have you got?
Oh.
He's got 2. A massive round out of woxic. Up and on the
Short
menu.
plant,
Bomb is
though.
half gone. It's planted for Snappy. He does have a kit. But woxic, this is all up against him. He's going for the crazy one. He's just going to defuse right in front of him. Snappy's trying to try and call the bluff. Swings out. He holds it. He counts his blessings. Snappy's going to be punching his desk. He gets a chance on the swing. Counts in his head, but he just can't hit the bullet.
So I was about to say, without even... I'd forgotten he won a 1v3. You never play woxic on Dust 2. It's one of those, like... It's one of those... You don't play Inns on Inferno, if you can avoid it. Or Vinny,
Yep.
apparently. You don't play Cash against Nico.
Yep.
And you do not play Dust 2 against woxic. I'm telling you, he was... Like, even before he was on Mouse, like, on Hellraisers, and I think even before that, he was famously an absolute demon on Dust 2. He had the best game I've ever seen. He went 34-5 in about 19 rounds in a game. Jesus. He had like a 3.6 rating once on Dust 2, where I remember watching the demo and he got 9 kills in the 2 pistol rounds.
Jesus Christ.
You don't play woxic on Dust 2. It's just asking for trouble. I'll see if I can find this game.
He won a 1v3, and I just need to note that it not only was it incredibly stupid that the first 2 people just peeked directly into the op, but the last person, I think it was Snappy, bomb was planted on A site for Cat. Snappy was on Cat. Woxic walks onto the bomb, starts defusing scopes and right on Cat, and doesn't let up. Snappy comes out and starts firing, and Woxic finishes the defuse and shoots Snappy. Snappy shot 9 bullets before he died, but Woxic just got the defuse.
Yeah, it's... Dust 2 has a unique ability to make games rubbish. That and Inferno, to some extent, Vertigo, but like Inferno can make good games boring. Dust 2 makes bad games like just horrendous. Like they can be so difficult to watch sometimes.
It ain't great.
Yeah, you just, I don't know. It makes good players look really bad sometimes. I found the game in 2018. Woxic against AGO. He went 35-4 in 18 rounds.
Oh my god.
He had a 3.21 rating with 7 first kills and 23 AWP kills. And I'm pretty certain he got 9 pistol round kills as well. So he only got 3 kills with guns that weren't his starting pistol or an AWP.
Excellent.
He just got 5 kills on the one pistol and probably immediately bought an AWP.
And then he never let go of the AWP for the rest of the game.
Yeah, no. If you get the chat, if you can find this game, if you can find the demo, just watch it. He makes the game look so easy. Don't play him on Dust 2. That's all I'm saying.
So we got 2 more matches to talk about. The first match here is FURIA against Imperial.
Yep.
Imperial, real good start on Dust 2. I could have told you for a long time that Imperial would have been good on Dust 2. Because Try is a very good opper.
Yeah.
And
it does help they have the better opera in this matchup.
They do.
And he did very well on Dust 2.
He did well. And Descenti's just been good for a while now.
Yeah, I don't actually know how good he is. I feel like he had like one tournament where he was really good, and everyone now is convinced he's really good, when most of the time he is just decent.
Would you say he's decent-y?
No, he's only decent-y when he's really good. Most of the time he's just decent.
He's just decent.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought he was really good today. This series was really weird because Imperial won Dust 2, and it did not look close. FURIA looked like they were out of sorts, didn't know how to play the game. They get onto Nuke, which is a map that FURIA play.
Yeah, they picked it, which is...
They picked it.
If I want FURIA to win, I'm never happy to see Nuke in the rotation.
Yeah. I can't remember. Is Fallen known for his Nuke or not? This is a legitimate question. This is not me.
He was most famous for Overpass.
Yeah, that's what I
Overpass
thought.
was Fallen's map.
That's what I thought. I didn't think he was particularly famous for his Nuke, but I could be wrong here. I remember.
I mean, SK were like, I think they were fine at it, but it was never like a... Like, I can't ever remember seeing a hallzerk highlight or a FUR highlight on Nuke. Like, I'm sure they did play it, but...
I can't remember a single FURIA highlight from Nuke.
FURIA used to be half decent at it.
Yeah, but I don't know if
I remember... I do remember, like, Vinny used to be their ramp... I mean, I'm talking way back when. Vinny was their ramp player. I remember that. And Keserato... Yeah, no, because Keserato was one of the first star players who didn't play outside. He played on top hut. He actually made that a thing where star players wanted to play on top hut instead of outside. So, yeah, FURIA were good at it. They're just a little... It's like North's Cobblestone. You're never happy to see it, but they think they're really good at it.
But, like, are you telling me
they won it, so...
You would have played Nuke over Vertigo, Mirage, or Inferno if you were FURIA here? I feel like Nuke may be not the pick. Neither here nor there. They won it. Who cares?
Yeah. You don't really want to play Mirage against... In a derby game. And Phelps is famously good at Mirage as well.
So the last map.
Yeah. A map Phelps famously isn't good at.
But a map Vinny is famously good at.
True, yeah.
Imperial lost 13-0 to FURIA on Inferno?
Yeah, on VINferno. Yeah, so all that foreshadowing earlier about, you don't want to play Vinny on Inferno. Yeah, no, like, Brazilians trying to make this thing where it's, it's VINferno, he's so good at it. You just got a 13-0 on him, mate. Sorry, the aura is gone.
Like, this, I don't know, this match, this is what it should have been, but this was not the path I expected.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like Inferno's the map that got Phelps kicked off the best team in Brazil. I'm sure when Fallen saw he was playing Inferno against Phelps, just wait for him to run down Banana and we'll kill him and win the round. I mean, like, there's nothing to talk about in the 13-0 because it is just, unless it's two big teams, like, when 13-0 happens, it's just like, there's nothing to say. Yeah. You just got battered, like, it happens, but don't ever let it happen again.
So
it's a right passage for Brazilians.
The last match of the day, it was Team Liquid Pain. Team Liquid eked out a 13-10 victory on their second map after going to overtime.
Very confident you are.
Very confident. I'd like to note that the game is open currently in front of me, and TL are maybe winning this round.
And it's in a 3v3.
It's a 3v3. My thoughts are not looking... Oh, you know what? I want to talk about an unrelated game thing with this game.
All right.
It has to do with Counter-Strike 2. When they gave the ability for left-hand view model, I was happy because I play left-hand sometimes.
I was upset.
I understand that, and you can be upset, and Liquid just lost the round.
Left-handed people.
So I don't even... But my problem here is now we have to see biguzera's view model.
Oh god! Oh no, I hate it. I hate not biguzera. I hate having to see my teammates' view models.
Yeah,
Jack, if you're listening, Jack, Nova Design on Twitter. He was graphic designer with TLDR for ages. He works for ESL. I'm not saying fire him for his view model, but investigate him. His view model is.
Can we contact HR?
If he's in a clutch, I tab out. Not just because I would have to watch him play the game, because I'd have to look at his view model. Oh, it's awful. But can I please not look at my teammates' view models?
Biguzera's got left hand, but it's like almost in the middle. It is disgusting.
Yeah, that's like Jack's, yeah.
And like, here's the thing. I'm okay if you want to look at that fucking garbage, right?
You know what? I'm actually not okay if you want to look at that. I don't think you should be allowed to, even in the comfort of your own home.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I'm going totalitarian on this.
Personally, don't give a shit what you do. Don't fucking show that to me. I don't want to see that. Like, I'm okay seeing left hand if you've got like the normal view model. Like, I'll get over it, even if I'm playing righty at the moment. But like, I don't fucking want to see, like, the view model that's, like, up next to your fucking face. I don't want to see this shit.
It's difficult enough watching left-handed gameplay anyway. Like, it is difficult. And then when you watch it, I think Liquid are about to win, by the way. When you see it, with a terrible view model, it's maybe the worst thing possible.
It's so
I don't
bad.
want to see that.
No, I really don't. And it's one thing to see it in matchmaking or if I'm pugging in faces or something like that. Yeah. It's another thing on the 50,000 view pro stream for me to see biguzera's fucking view model.
Why can we not turn it off? I don't want to see my team.
I don't want to see it. So, Liquid did defeat Pain. It was 13-11 on the second map. And it went to OT on Anubis. Liquid looked fine. I will not say that they looked terrible. I don't think that they looked terrible. I don't think they looked amazing either. They looked really good on the first half of Anubis.
The thing is, Pain are also a new team, so it's hard to actually know what beating Pain means. Like, had they beaten Big, for example, I'd have more, maybe not. I'd have more of an idea of how good that makes them, how impressive a result that actually is. I don't know how impressive beating Pain is. Liquid made Pain look quite good, but I don't know if Pain are quite good. Because Liquid so far, with this roster, have actually looked like one of the best teams in the world.
They beat Navi twice.
Pain have run them pretty close on 2 maps.
We didn't talk about Blast, Showdown Fall, whatever it was at the end. But like here's the TLDR. Liquid beat Navi. They beat Virtus Pro. They beat Navi, and then they beat Navi again.
Yeah. I
don't know what more you could have asked for from a first event from Liquid.
No, nor me.
That's
about as good as it gets. And they look like one of the best teams in the. They look like one of the best teams in the world, and Pain ran them pretty close on both maps. So maybe Pain are also pretty good.
So, who is getting out of plans? I think that's the.
God knows.
So we've got 8 teams getting out. Of those teams, 4 will be Complexity or Eternal Fire, MIBR or 9Z, FURIA or Liquid, and Big or Saw. I'm feeling pretty good if I say Eternal Fire and Liquid get out.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced Liquid are getting out.
I'm pretty convinced
even before seeing their matchups, before seeing them play, pretty convinced they'll be getting out. Yeah. I think they'll beat FURIA. MIBR 9Z, I've got no idea.
That's fun though. That's a fun game. Yeah.
I'm glad one of them's through. I'd like it to be 9Z because I like watching 9Z play. Mm-hmm. I think.
And for what it's worth, the loser of these matches can also get through. They go play in the second round of the lowers. Yeah. But the 4 of these teams are confirmed to get through.
Yeah. I also I think 9Z have got a better chance of beating somebody good than MIBR have. Like we said earlier, really good teams don't get insanied, but they might get maxed.
I just need to note the stupid bit of this bracket that the losers of FURIA, Imperial, Pain, Liquid are playing tomorrow, which is Imperial Pain. The winner of Imperial Pain will play the loser of MIBR 9Z. Yeah. With the exception of Liquid, you're only playing South American teams.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go to Europe to play South America. I think I would be willing to say Heroic may make it through. I'd be willing to say right now that Complexity, I think, can make it through.
Complexity definitely can. I mean, who do they play if they lose?
They will play the
FlyQuest or the Mongols. Yeah, I mean it's winnable. It's tough, but it's winnable.
It's winnable.
I mean, these Mongols is tough but winnable. FlyQuest is very winnable.
Yeah, I think that
which FlyQuest team is it? Green or red?
It's FlyQuest Green. I think that the people to get out of Cologne are the planes are the exact people you expected to. With maybe the exception of Heroic, but now that degster's here, I think Heroic probably get through. They probably run it on 3D Max and then loser FURIA / Liquid. But they do have a really hard route.
And I still don't they've not played with degster in like a month now. Are they still good? I don't know.
I don't know,
They're probably
but
still good.
The only reason I'd be skeptical is because they have such a hard route of getting through. Because
It's not that hard.
3D
it's 3D
Max,
Max and then FURIA. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but that's a lot harder than the Brazilian route here of Imperial, Pain, and MIBR and R9Z. Or
This is also,
MongolZ.
You beat 3D Max, you're also playing a Brazilian team. And FURIA, I know FURIA are like the de facto best team in Brazil, but it's not by that much.
Yeah, or you're playing the winner of alternate aTTaX Falcon. Like, I feel like of everyone in this bottom bit, Heroic has the best shot of getting out. It just happens to be that they also play one of the harder.
I would say Falcons have the best shot of going through. They play alternate aTTaX, which
they can win.
They're gonna win that. Let's not fuck about here. And then they play either big or saw.
Depends on what big/saw show up that day.
Yeah, it does. It does, but you'd expect Falcons to get through by beating alternate aTTaX and then big or saw. Like, if you're Falcons, you're like, yeah, okay, we fucked up day one. We should still make it through.
All right, let's move on to main event very quickly. I do not want to spend a huge amount of time on this because we are a week away. We're 3 or 4 days away from the main event starting, and the main event will go through while we are off until next week, and we'll make a podcast in preparation for playoffs.
Yes.
8 teams already confirmed for main event, which is Na'Vi, Spirit, MauZ, Vitality, G2, FaZe, Virtus.pro, and Astralis. If you had to tell me right now without seeing anything else, what 6 teams are making playoffs based on the teams you know about play-ins and the 8 teams that are
Na'Vi, MauZ, Vitality, G2. Let me go back to the teams that are already out. I've just got a feeling Spirit are not going to make it through, and I can't really justify that.
You can't, okay.
It's just a gut. Liquid will get through. And Astralis.
I have the same list as you, except I do not have Astralis. I have Eternal Fire instead.
Interesting.
It's a bold move.
You also didn't go Spirit, FaZe, or VP.
FaZe and VP I have separate thoughts about. VP is...
FaZe I've lost full faith in. Not that I really have that much anyway.
I think it is a very reasonable take right now to not be high on VP.
Yeah.
First of all,
I'm not that high on
Liquid
VP.
just beat VP last week.
Yeah.
And this VP is like working on what they want to do and stuff, and that's great for them. But I don't know what I feel about them right now.
If there's like Astralis are due, they're like one good big tournament a year.
Yeah, but I could also see Eternal Fire just showing up and making it.
I've believed in Eternal Fire for too long. They never quite do it.
I will say, I think Na'Vi, G2, MauZ, Vitality, Liquid are a lock.
I think MauZ are winning it.
You think MauZ are winning it?
I think MauZ are winning it.
I think G2's winning it. I'm not a G2 fan.
I'm down for that.
In fact, I am generally not a G2 enjoyer.
Oh, I'm a this G2 team I am an enjoyer.
But
Snacks and mouths, I'm all in.
I just keep looking at it and go, on paper, how does this team ever lose? Followed up by like something about MongolZ at big crowds, man. It's like the same stuff that we used to talk about with like a bunch of other players.
Big crowd, Snacks and MongolZ.
Like,
Nico back in Cologne, like. But to me, MauZ are the best team in the world when there's no crowd. Eventually, they're going to just be good in front of a crowd. This is a crowd that will be on their side.
That's a good point.
This crowd will be really on their side.
Unless for some weird reason, Big make it through.
Or alternate aTTaX.
I have low faith in alternate aTTaX.
There's a lot of MauZ fans in Germany, even
regardless.
Yeah, so like this will be a crowd that will be desperate for them to win, and I think that actually might be there. I just think they're going to win it. I just think they're going to win.
All right, and that's going to be it for us this week. We will be back again next week. You can find the two of us on Twitter at Logan Wrap and at EasyEsk, Reed TLDR at Reed TLDR. Our producer is James Sherpa. Our editor is Mac. You will find us again next week. We'll talk about playoffs for Cologne, and Elliot will be in a new location, or will be here before he's in a new location.
Yes.